Good evening. The rain came down in sheets over Genoa City, blurring the skyline into a smear of gray and gold. It was the kind of storm that felt like a warning, like the calm before something seismic. Inside Chancellor Winters, however, the atmosphere was anything but calm. Lily Winters stood at the head of the conference table, her fingers resting lightly on a stack of documents that had the potential to change everything. "Let me be clear," she said, her voice steady but charged. "This is not just a business expansion. This is a reclamation." Devin leaned back in his chair, watching her carefully. "You've been saying that all week. Reclamation of what exactly?" Lily didn't hesitate. "Power." Silence followed, thick, electric. Nate raised a brow. "You already have power, Lily. Chancellor Winters is stronger than it's ever been." "That's not the point," she replied. "We built something incredible, yes, but there's a legacy tied to Chancellor. A legacy that's been diluted, manipulated, and, let's be honest, controlled from the outside for far too long." Devin frowned. "You're talking about the Newmans." Lily's gaze sharpened. "I'm talking about reclaiming Chancellor Industries, fully." Nate let out a low whistle. "You're serious?" "I've never been more serious in my life." Devin leaned forward. "Lily, that's not just a business move. That's a war declaration." "Then maybe it's time someone declared it." Victor Newman stood in his office, looking out over the city as lightning cracked across the sky. The storm outside mirrored the one brewing inside him. Nick entered without knocking. "You've seen it?" Victor didn't turn. "Of course I've seen it. She's making a move, Dad. Lily's putting together a bid, quietly but not quietly enough." Victor finally turned, his expression unreadable. "She's bold. I'll give her that." Nick crossed his arms. "This isn't just bold. It's risky. Chancellor isn't something you just take back. There are layers, alliances, debts, and leverage." Victor finished. "Never forget leverage." Nick sighed. "What are you going to do?" Victor's lips curved into a slow, knowing smile. "What I always do, Nicholas. And that is, remind them exactly who they're dealing with." Back at Chancellor Winters, Lily stood alone in her office, staring at an old photograph on her desk. It was of her and her father, Drusilla's laughter frozen in time behind them, family, legacy, strength. "You always told me to fight for what's ours," she murmured. A knock at the door pulled her back to the present. "Come in." Amanda stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "I just got off the phone with our legal team." "And?" Amanda hesitated. "There's resistance, not just from Newman Enterprises, but from within Chancellor's existing board." Lily's jaw tightened. "Names." Amanda handed her a tablet. "Some expected, some not." Lily scanned the list, her eyes narrowing. "They think I can't pull this off." Amanda crossed her arms. "They think Victor Newman won't let you." Lily looked up, fire blazing in her eyes. "Then they don't know me." The next morning, the storm had passed, but the tension hadn't. At Newman Enterprises, a meeting was already underway. Victoria stood at the head of the table. "We've analyzed Lily's financial positioning. She's stronger than people think." Adam leaned back, smirking. "She always has been. That's kind of her thing." Victoria shot him a look. "This isn't a joke." Adam shrugged. "I'm not joking. I'm saying don't underestimate her." Victor sat silently, listening. Nick spoke up. "So what's the plan? We block her?" Victoria nodded. "We reinforce our position. Lock down shares. Strengthen alliances. Make it clear there's no room for negotiation." Adam tilted his head. "Or," Victoria glared, "or what?" "Or we let her come to us." Victor's eyes flickered with interest. Nick frowned. "Why would we do that?" Adam leaned forward. "Because if Lily thinks she has a chance, she'll show her hand. And when she does, we take everything." Victoria shook her head. "Too risky." Victor finally spoke. "No." The room went still. Victoria blinked. "No?" Victor's gaze was steady. "We don't wait. We don't react. We control the narrative." Adam smirked slightly. "So, we hit first." Victor's expression hardened. "We've already begun." Lily received the news that afternoon. Her phone buzzed as she reviewed documents, and the moment she saw the headline, her stomach dropped. "Newman Enterprises acquires majority stake in key Chancellor assets." "Damn it," she whispered. Devin rushed into her office. "You've seen it?" She held up the phone. "They moved faster than I expected." Nate followed close behind. "They didn't just move fast. They cut us off at the knees." Lily stood, her mind racing. No, not yet. Devin shook his head. Lily, this changes everything. If they control those assets, then we pivot. Nate frowned. Pivot to what? Lily's eyes hardened. To something they didn't see coming. Later that evening, Lily found herself at Crimson Lights, waiting. When the door opened and a familiar figure stepped inside, she didn't smile, but there was a flicker of recognition. Billy Abbott approached, hands in his pockets. You called. That usually means trouble. Lily arched a brow. Or opportunity. Billy chuckled. With you, it's usually both. She gestured for him to sit. I need your help. Billy leaned back. That's a loaded sentence. I'm making a move on Chancellor. Billy's smirk faded. You're serious. I am. And you want me. Why? Because you know the terrain, you know the players, and you know what it takes to go up against the Newmans. Billy studied her for a long moment. You're not just trying to win, are you? Lily's voice softened, but only slightly. I'm trying to take back what's mine. Billy nodded slowly. And you think I can help you do that? I know you can. He leaned forward, a spark of something dangerous in his eyes. Then we'd better be ready for a fight. It didn't take long for the inevitable confrontation to happen. Victor didn't summon Lily. He didn't need to. She came to him. The doors to Newman Enterprises opened, and Lily walked in with purpose, her heels echoing against the polished floor. Victor was waiting. Ms. Winters, Mr. Newman. They stood across from each other, two forces of nature colliding. You're making quite the move, Victor said. Lily didn't flinch. So are you. He smiled faintly. I'm protecting what's mine. And I'm reclaiming what's mine. Victor's gaze sharpened. You believe Chancellor belongs to you. It does. He shook his head. You're mistaken. Lily stepped closer. Am I? Because from where I stand, it looks like you're afraid. Victor's expression darkened. Afraid? That I might actually succeed. A tense silence followed. Then Victor chuckled. Low, dangerous. You have spirit, Lily. I respect that. Respect isn't what I'm after. No, he agreed. You're after control. Yes. Victor's eyes locked onto hers. And you think you can take that from me? Lily's voice was unwavering. I don't think. I know. Days passed. Moves were made. Deals were struck. And just when it seemed like Lily was running out of options, she made her boldest move yet. At a high-profile press conference, Lily stepped up to the podium, cameras flashing. Today, she began, marks a new chapter, not just for Chancellor Winters, but for the legacy of Chancellor Industries. Victor watched from his office, eyes narrowed. Lily continued, I'm proud to announce a strategic partnership, one that will redefine the landscape of corporate power in Genoa City. A murmur rippled through the crowd. And that partnership is with... She paused, letting the tension build. Victor leaned forward. Jabot. Across town, Jack Abbott nearly dropped his coffee. Victor's expression turned to stone. The news hit Genoa City like an earthquake. Nick stared at the TV. She partnered with Jabal? Victoria paced. This changes everything. Adam grinned. Now this is interesting. Victor said nothing, but his silence was louder than any words. Back at Chancellor Winters, Lily stood with Devin, Nate, and now Billy, along with a new ally, Jack Abbott. Jack smiled. You certainly know how to make an entrance. Lily met his gaze. I'm just getting started. Devin exhaled. You really did it. Nate shook his head in disbelief. You went around the wall. Billy smirked. No, she went through it. Lily looked out over the city, determination etched into every line of her face. The Newmans built their empire on control, she said. But they forgot something. Jack raised a brow. What's that? Lily's smile was sharp, fearless. No empire is untouchable. Back at Newman Enterprises, Victor stood alone once more, the city stretching out before him. Nick entered quietly. She's not backing down. Victor didn't turn. No, he said. She isn't. Nick hesitated. So what now? Victor's reflection stared back at him in the glass, unyielding, unbroken. Now, we remind her why no one wins against a Newman. Lightning flashed again in the distance. The storm wasn't over. It had only just begun.